No, thank you. Sleepy. Come back in an hour.
Need sleepy.
Please go away. Let me sleep for the love of God!
It's now time for the Billy C. Morning Show, part of the Billy C. Boxing Network. Interact with the show at BillyCBoxing.com.
And we're coming to you live from the Billy C. Studios in Lake George, New York. I'm Bill Calogero, and it's time for the Billy C. Morning Show. Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's doing okay. Give a special shout out to all of our listeners on our affiliates throughout the U.S. and Canada. Glad to be with you this morning. And, of course, on Fight TV. If you're watching us on Fight TV, we appreciate it, and we're glad to be part of Fight TV's program lineup. And if you want to watch this show on your handheld device, it's easy. It is. Trust me. Just go to fight.tv, that's FITE.tv/Billy C. And you got it, man. Download the app today and watch us on your handheld. It's that simple. Today's show is being brought to us in part by Sal's Neighborhood Pizzeria and Italiano Restaurant, located in beautiful St. Simons Island, Georgia. Check out the website, www.salsneighborhoodpizzeria.com. Or give my man a call, 912-268-2328, 912-268-2328. And don't forget, if you're a snowbird and you're heading south for the winter, you stop by Sal's, man. It's literally 15 minutes out of your way off of I-95, 15 minutes out of your way. That includes stopping at lights. If you run the red lights, you get there even quicker. And you mention this show, and you'll get a cannoli with your meal. So check that out. Today's show is also being brought to us by Fire Fan. What is Fire Fan, you ask? Well, it's a new revolutionary game. You guys that like to play the fantasy football and fantasy basketball and baseball, etc., KO fantasy, boxing, all that stuff. Well, now there's a new game app out. It's called Fire Fan, and what it lets you do is watch games live and basically predict what's going to happen next. Like if you're watching a football game, is it fourth down? Is he going to go for it? Is he going to kick the field goal? Is he going to punt? You can actually pick that kind of stuff. Now, if you log in and sign up through us, it's free. It's free, but here's the best part. You can win money. So here you go. You play your favorite sport, get involved with other people just like you for free, and cash in. What's better than that? Visit our website, www.billycboxing.com, and click on the Fire Fan banner, which is located on the left-hand side of the screen. And the rest, all you'll need to do is start raking in the cash. Today's show is also being brought to us in part by the Sergey Kovalev Andre Ward post-fight show. That's right. We're doing it live right here, approximately 6 minutes after the conclusion of the fight. You can get it right here on BillyCBoxing.com or our YouTube page live. That's youtube.com/talkinboxing, TALKINBOXING, or on Fight TV. So you got a lot of places to watch it. And, of course, today's show being brought to us in part by my book, Tom Molyneux, From Bondage, The Baddest Man on the Planet. It's available right now where all good books are sold, and you can literally get a copy of it right now by visiting BarnesandNoble.com or Amazon.com. Find out why we got a 5-star rating across the board. What, you want a signed copy? No problem. Visit our website, www.BillyCBoxing.com, and click on the book club section and follow the directions. Listen, today is Fan-Driven Thursday. Why? Because we're not going to be doing a show tomorrow because we got the post-fight show scheduled for Saturday. So we're mixing things up a little bit. And before we get started here, I want to mention that boxing lost another notable fighter. Alex Stewart has been reported as passing yesterday. He was 52 years old. He was a heavyweight, top 10 contender for a while, was undefeated, 24-0 until he met Evander Holyfield. But look at the fighters that he fought and came up short against: all former world champions, Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson, Michael Mora, George Foreman, Oleg Moskayev, to name all the big fighters that he faced. So our thoughts, prayers, and condolences go out to Alex Stewart's family and his friends. Boxing lost another one. Well, boxing didn't lose this guy. Joining me right now, a New Jersey Boxing Hall of Famer. He's a Guinness Book of World Records. He's a pretty damn good pizza guy and businessman, and he's my friend. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend himself. Please welcome, standing ovation, not necessary, but give us some claps and stuff, Sal Rocky Senicola. What's up, Sal?
Hey, good morning, my friend. How are you?
Oh, I'm not doing too bad.
I'll tell you.
What did you think?
Billy, of all those titles, all those rat-ta-ta-ta-tas, man, I'm very humble and very grateful that you have the one title. Yes, I am your friend, and I love that title. So thank you, my friend.
The rat-ta-ta-ta-tas.
Rat-ta-ta. That's a new term, rat-ta-ta-ta-ta.
Yeah, I think so. It's they used to use that term in the 20s.
Look it up in the dictionary.
They used to. Oh no, that's not another one of you. They used to use that term in the 20s too. Rat-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. But they were holding a Tommy gun at the time. But anyway, Sergey Kovalev, Andre Ward. You know, I want to talk today, give our final thoughts, and then open up the phone lines. We are going to be doing a post-fight show, but all the talk, all the he said, she said, all that other crap is over. Bottom line, they'll have the weigh-in tomorrow. I'm not anticipating any problems with that. But before we give our final thoughts on that, I wanted to get your thoughts on a couple of other things that's going on in the sport. I actually got an email to read. But boxing officially is returning to the state of New York in wake of the ridiculous medical restrictions that the powers that be put on. Now, this past weekend, we had a big UFC pay-per-view event that went over pretty well in New York. Not sure how the UFC got past the insurance requirements. As we talked about several times, Sal, they have added a $1 million per fighter for projected brain damage down the road, which is pretty hard to find an insurance company to write that. As a matter of fact, I didn't realize that there was any. But it was officially announced yesterday that January 14th in Brooklyn at the Barclays Center, a unification fight between Badou Jack and James DeGale in the super middleweight division will be the main event. And the co-main event is Jose Pedraza taking on Gervonta Davis. It will be promoted by Mayweather Promotions. Do you think that Floyd Mayweather is just anteing up and paying, or did they find some? What's your thoughts on this?
I'll tell you, that's you never know. I mean, Floyd could certainly afford it, but I think there's been some talk underneath the wire here, that radar, that who knows what's going to happen. But let's see if we can open up the floodgates and maybe let this be a start of revitalizing the interest and see what we could do to negate some of those demands and make it an equal playing field so New York could start putting on some good fights.
I'm not sure. I haven't heard if they've come up with a solution, if there's finally an insurance company that will write that, add that rider to an insurance policy. But whatever the case is, they had an MMA event this past weekend, and they've officially announced the fight yesterday. A press conference was held in New York City. So I guess they've figured out a way to get by it, right?
I think they would have. Yeah, I think they would have had to. And who knows? Maybe the MMA event opened up a window to negotiate or say, hey, if you're not demanding this from that, why can't we do this here or that? Or let's look at it this way. You never know. That's what I'm saying. These guys behind the scenes might be looking for any angle they can to get a little foot in the door. and negotiate and have a happy medium and come to an agreement. So I'm just grateful, and I'll look forward to seeing some big fights coming out of New York again. And we'll see what happens. There could be some of those special situations that they allow, but we'll see how this unfolds. I'm just excited that they're going to entertain that potential.
Yeah, no, ditto, Sal. Let's just get an email out of the way real quick. This one's from my man Jesse. He says, "Hey Billy, the Jose Pedraza and Gervonta Davis fight should be a good one. I give the edge slightly to Pedraza, who has the experience." I agree. I like the sniper myself. Gervonta Davis is one of those. He's a product of being coddled and not really been tested yet. His first big test is against Pedraza, and Pedraza's no slouch. I agree with Jesse there. He says, "How do you see the Hooker versus Perez fight?" Haven't seen much of Hooker, but it seems like he's an aggressive fighter, and Perez is tough and durable. Hooker's a little bigger. I mean, this is how you see these fights these days. Maurice Hooker is the bigger fighter, but Darlis Perez, in my opinion, is the better fighter, and that's who I'm going with in that fight. So, FYI, he says, "Do you see the Evans Pierre winning his bout versus Juan Carlos Salgado easily?" Juan Carlos Salgado is a tough opponent. If he does win it easily, that'll be kudos for Evans Pierre. I don't think so, no. He says, I have heard Ward versus Sergey bout will be a tactical and clinching bout. He says Ward will move and counter Sergey's jab. And I wish you guys would take a little more time to write these things. I mean, Jesus, what are you writing this with your foot, Jesse? I mean, come on. He says, I have the Ward bout versus Sergey being tactical and a clinching bout. I'm adding words to make it at least sound, credible. He says Ward will move and counter Sergey's jab, and at the same time they will clinch when the fight gets to the inside. It all depends. I haven't even heard who the referee is going to be, but if the referee doesn't let them fight inside, that might. I don't know who that hurts. So who do you think that hurts? I mean, Sergey Kovalev can pound the body, but Ward does hold a lot, Sal. I mean, if a fighter if the referee breaks them up as soon as they get into a clinch, do you think that helps the Ward, or do you think that helps Kovalev?
I think it helps Ward because I think Ward has some quick hands, and even though the referee's breaking him up, he can probably tag Kovalev fast with an inside shot here and there, depending on the position. That's how I read it. I think on the inside in general, I think Kovalev, it goes to his advantage. But if the referee's going to break it up, you might see a different, as soon as they touch and as soon as they hug, as soon as they do this, Ward might try and do a fast little combo to make a good impression of the judges. But overall, if they're allowed to fight inside, I see Kovalev coming out with some heavy thunder, landing on Ward.
He says, my picks are Ward over Sergey in a split decision, Vodzik over Chilimba by a 10th round TKO, Hooker over Perez in a unanimous decision, and Curtis Stevens knocking out De La Rosa in 10. We'll see how those goes, Jesse. But anyway, let's talk about the fight, the big fight. It is a major fight. It is an anticipated fight. It is a pay-per-view fight as well. But Sergey Kovalev going up against Andre Ward this weekend. Sal, we've talked about it a lot, and it's right now. It's time to get your final thoughts. I mean, have you given it a chance? Have you changed your opinion on how this fight's going to go? I mean, how do you see it going from start to finish?
Well, I see the first round definitely going where I think Ward is going to want to come into the middle of the ring and then step back and then assess and use his jab, create the distance between the two of them, get his range. Kovalev, I see trying to do a similar thing, but he's there with with just business in mind, and he's going to meet Ward out there and he's going to be throwing out his jab, sizing it up. They're both going to try to establish their distance with their jabs the first round, and they're going to be looking to show each other a little respect. But I think by the middle of the round, you'll see a few right hands going to test that range, and towards the end of the round, you might see one or two good quick exchanges. And I really think that's how the fight's going to open up. I think as it gets to the second, third, and fourth round, you'll see more and more of a fight where I think Ward is going to try to move laterally, try to pick him apart with a jab, try to pick his shots. And Kovalev, if he's smart enough, he'll be cutting off the ring a little bit and trying to land that jab and going to the body to slow down Ward. That's how I see that first couple of rounds.
Well, how do you see the second couple of rounds?
Oh, okay.
Who's going to win the fight, Sal?
Second half. Okay, I'm teasing. I just wanted to hear you request that. The middle of the fight, I see some good action, good exchanges, and I think Ward, it'll be a close fight in the middle of the rounds. But I think if Kovalev keeps the pressure on, and as I said, if he does cut the ring off as effectively as he sure the heck knows how to do, his blows are going to be too much for Ward to sustain any continuity in his game plan, and I think it's going to trip him up a little bit. And I do see Kovalev landing some big blows in later rounds that are either going to drop Ward or going to drop Ward or give Kovalev dominance in a ring where he's going to either stop Ward by TKO or he's going to win a decision at the end of the fight.
Well,
so I'm picking Kovalev.
This fight is obviously an important fight for the sport.
Your opinion.
As well. I will. As well as in the light heavyweight division, right? Andre Ward. No discredit to Andre, the fighter. He has become, between him and Cotto, I don't know who's a bigger diva in the sport today. Not sure why Andre Ward. I mean, his persona is that he's a nice guy and, family man, God-fearing, et cetera, but he's become this diva. And I think that a lot of his focal point is being the diva. Remember, when he was a super middleweight world champion and he fought in that Super 6, nobody could even begin to make an argument that he wasn't fighting the best opposition that he possibly could. And, when that Super 6 finally ended, he came out on top and everything else. But that was 5 years ago. And since then, he's fought Edwin Rodriguez, Paul Smith, Sullivan Barrera, which was an up-and-coming hard-punching fighter that I give Andre Ward credit for. But he also fought very cautiously and won a decision. And then his last fight, of course, earlier this year in August, he fought totally outclassed Alexander Brand and won a decision. Since his comeback, so to speak, after a 2-year layoff between his fight with Edwin Rodriguez and his return bout against Paul Smith, was when he was really stepping up his diva role and was, having some contract disputes, etc. And also during that time, he comes back and fights Paul Smith, Sal, and it's something that you and I have talked about, where all of a sudden he acted like he was a knockout puncher, going for knockouts, throwing that punch and sitting back expecting his opponent to crumble to the canvas. He did get the stoppage with Paul Smith, but failed to do so with Barrera and even outclassed Alexander Brand. What does it all mean? Well, Sergey Kovalev, he's been the complete opposite. He's fought the best of the best of the best in the last 5 years in the division. The only guy that he hasn't fought is Adonis Chickenson, who clearly ran in the other direction. Sergey Kovalev has quietly taken on all of the light heavyweights in the division and has come out on top, including a fight with B-Hop. Even though B-Hop is an older guy, he definitely knows all the tricks, and Kovalev dominated him as well. At the end of the day, when you look at these two fighters, Sal, They're evenly matched in every single aspect of how we look at a fighter. Kovalev is number one in the light heavyweight division, and Andre Ward by the computer. Andre Ward is number three. We have Kovalev number one as well, and we have Andre Ward at number four. As far as age goes, Andre Ward is 32, Kovalev 33. When you look at the height, everybody seems to think Kovalev is so much bigger, but that's not true. Andre Ward is 6 foot tall, and Kovalev is 6 foot tall. When you look at the arm reach, Andre Ward has 71-inch reach. Sergey Kovalev, he's got a 72.5-inch reach. What does it all mean? Listen, the bottom line is this. Sergey Kovalev is a guy that's trained by a pretty sharp trainer, a guy that can make adjustments on the fly in John David Jackson. I like John David Jackson. I think he's better than Virgil Hunter. Virgil Hunter is, been lately thinks of himself as a little better than what he is. At the end of the day, Sal, I see the fight going like this. I think the first round is going to be clearly a feel-out round. Some people are hoping that it starts out with fireworks, and like Alex said on the show yesterday, it might be in Andre Ward's favor if he came out starting quickly, because one knock on Kovalev is that he does have a tendency to start a little slow and has been caught early in fights. So if Ward does think he possesses knockout pop, maybe he might want to jump on Kovalev. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be a cautious round. I think Ward is going to try to outbox him, pick his shots. When and if Kovalev can get him trapped against the ropes or in a corner, I'm looking for Andre Ward to hold him and make it ugly. I think that the pressure is actually on Kovalev in this fight, like I said yesterday. And the reason why I believe the pressure is on Kovalev is I think that Kovalev is going to have to be able to control the ring. If he fails to dictate where Ward goes as he's running, it's going to be an ugly, boring Ward victory. If Kovalev can control the ring, cut it off, land some hard shots, I think Kovalev can win, and not only win, but stop Andre Ward. Remember, Andre Ward, competed at light heavyweight in the amateurs, and then fought at super middleweight as a pro. So it's not like he's that small of a guy moving up. But at the end of the day, I think that Kovalev is a bigger guy, fits the light heavyweight weight class much better than Ward. I'm predicting Kovalev to win this fight. I think he is going to catch Ward. I think Ward's legs are going to fail him as the fight goes on. And I'm predicting a Kovalev victory by stoppage or a flat-out knockout. So that's my official prediction, Sal.
Well, I'll tell you what. I loved your description and the details, and I'm going to take notes for my next explanation of who I think is going to win. But I'm glad we came out with the same result at the end. I think that Kovalev is going to win, and that was beautiful. I saw it. I envisioned the fight going just what you just explained, and I think is going to be evident when we see this fight Saturday night. It's going to be a great fight.
I hope it is. I hope it is. I hope it's
boxing.
Yeah, I hope it's exciting, action packed. I mean, that's what the sport needs. If we get another anticlimactic fight, a la Mayweather Pacquiao 1, it's going to be disheartening. It's gonna make boxing suffer another black eye. I know that Ward likes to be safe and fight safety first, but Kovalev doesn't, and that's why I think the pressure's on him. Believe it or not, Sal.
That's a good analogy. I think you're right, and it's so funny because all I could think about is when Michael Buffer says somebody's is going to go, and that's why this makes a good fight, because you had both these guys undefeated, and this is do or die. It's not going to be a draw. I know that. And it's going to be somebody's is going to not be at the end of the fight. And I think for the same reasons you explained, Kovalev may come out the victor. And but it should be a good fight, and not taking anything away from Andre Ward. He's a great fighter.
No. I just think it's Kovalev's time. He's been waiting for this, and it's going to happen on Saturday. So, hey, listen, let's open up the phone lines. I want to focus on Kovalev Ward. I want to get your thoughts, especially if you're watching on Fight TV or any place else, if you're watching or listening or watching us on our YouTube channel. Give us a call. Let us know what you think, your final thoughts on Kovalev against Ward this Saturday night, 845-228-8710. Like I said, I'd like to keep our topics on the Kovalev Ward fight, and we'll go from there. And, of course, Me First is on the line right now. Joel joins us. What's up, Joel?
Joel.
How are you?
Good. What's your thoughts? Kovalev Ward.
Gotta go with Ward. I'm gonna say unanimous decision or a split, something like that, maybe a majority. But I'm just with Ward. I've always been that way, and I just feel like your friend FM, Mr. Money Mayweather. I feel he'll adjust to the fight, and I just even though he's going up in weight, I just tend to feel that he's gonna outbox Kovalev. I mean, those were interesting numbers you were sharing with us about the height, the reach advantage. I definitely think, I just feel like Ward's going to come out on top. I'm definitely ordering that pay-per-view. It's only $55, which is a lot better than a Pacquiao fight.
Wow.
And I'm very interested in that Alexander Vazdik and Isaac Chilemba fight. The other two fights are okay, but the co-feature in the main event is definitely worth the $54.95 if you ask me.
I think the Curtis Stevens De La Rosa fight's going to have some fireworks, and to be honest with you, I think the Perez and Hooker fight is going to be a decent fight too. Chilemba sometimes makes a boring fight, so we'll have to see. But Ward, he does have the talent to win this fight. I do agree that if it does go to the scorecards, he probably will win the fight. I'm just afraid that he's going to make it a boring fight, ultimately pushing more and more fans away. Floyd's style may be safe for him, and it might have been very profitable for him, but it's really hurt the sport. And I'm not buying into boxing's evolved, this is what it is now. Well, if it is, it's dead, because it's never going to come back. Larry Hazard said on the show yesterday, it probably will never be back to the way we liked it in our lifetime, in Larry's and myself's lifetime. So, it's disheartening. And a fight like this on Saturday, that's why I keep saying that I feel that Kovalev has more pressure on him, because if he does make this fight a rough and tumble, stopping Andre Ward, preventing him from running around and clinching and doing all the things that Ward knows how to do, if Kovalev can prevent all of that, then he might very well add some excitement back to the sport. If he can't, we're back to the status quo, sort of like the options we had for our presidential election.
But I tell you, I don't know what maybe Sal can give his opinion on this. Billy, I got to tell you, I go into these pay-per-views with the knowledge that, like you just said, it could be a boring fight. You have to prepare yourself, because I think there were too many casual fans watching Mayweather Pacquiao, thinking it was someone posted a meme on Instagram that after the Mayweather Pacquiao fight, saying, this is what people expected the fight to be, and this is what it really was. You have to know that Ward, like you say, fights very safely. He may take that route. He may clinch. I know Kovalev said he may break his arms or his hands and whatever if he does, any dirty tactics. But I know he headbutted Chad Dawson accidentally, supposedly, when he fought Dawson. But you also have to look at a fight like that. That was when Dawson was at the top of his game. Dawson came down to 68. He TKO'd him. What was it, in the 10th round? And then he went on to lose went back to light heavyweight and lost the belt to Adonis Stevenson back in 2012 and then 2013. So, Ward has had his experience with the top of the 175-pound division, prior, with Dawson. So, I don't know if that's going to be an advantage for him.
Listen, Andre Ward and Joel, I appreciate your thoughts. We're getting a lot of callers calling in, so we're gonna.
Okay,
we're
guys,
gonna
have a great weekend. I'll call in Saturday. I'll talk to you guys Saturday.
Sounds good. I'm going to respond to that right now
care, Joel.
as we open up
Take
the
care,
lines.
bye.
Thanks, my man. One caller at a time we'll take. Anyway, my response to that is simple. Yes, there's no question that Andre Ward has fought tough opposition. He fought that tough opposition in the super middleweight division, and like I said earlier, it was 5-6 years ago. So there's those questions have to be answered, and they will be answered on Saturday. But good points from Joel. Sal, we got another person on the line. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey guys, it's Coach.
Coach, what's up, my
Coach,
man?
how you doing, Coach?
Good, pretty good. Get ready for the snow, and big fight this weekend.
Big fight. What's your final thoughts on the fight, my man?
Actually, my heart leans a little bit to Kovalev because he's the guy who I think, in the Tyson type sense, is going to bring the attraction back to the game. But in reality, I see it as a 50-50 fight on which fighter can push his game plan.
Well, I agree that it's a 50-50 fight, and that's what makes this fight so intriguing. We finally get to see a 50-50 fight. And as far as making their game plans work, whose game plan is what? You tell us what you think they're each going to try to do.
I see Ward, working his jab as he usually does. The thing that Ward is very good at too is he gets what he wants off, and his grappling, his holding, he's like an expert at it. He may be able to frustrate Kovalev a little bit. On the flip side, if Kovalev works his jab, that dumping style jab, and make Ward pay, he might just keep Ward on his back foot, for 15 rounds until he runs him into a big right.
Well, a lot of people are talking about Andre Ward's counterpunching ability and that he's going to try to set Kovalev up. And when Kovalev comes in, he's going to counterpunch him because, let's face it, Ward can counterpunch. He's one of the best. And he's accurate with his punches. My question is his counterpunching going to be effective? Is it going to hurt Kovalev? Is it going to stop him in his tracks? And what does Kovalev have to do to combat that?
I think for Ward to be effective at that, he has to land some significant early. Make Kovalev respect his power. If Ward doesn't respect his punch, then it's over early. Kovalev's shown he has a pretty good chin, and then if he can walk through it, and cut off the ring, and then, Ward's days are numbered. I also do see Kovalev pounding Ward a little bit up high on the shoulders, figuring, hey, Ward claimed this big, bad injury all this time. Let me work that shoulder, take one of those weapons away from him. I think a little bit of the experience for Ward may help. I don't know what it'll do against that punch, because in the back of my mind, as I balance it out of my mind, I say 50-50, and I just see a big, heavy punch, even with Kovalev behind, just turning the fight on a dime, and then it being all over.
One last question for you, Coach, because we got there's a lot of people trying to call in. The fight that Kovalev had with Bernard Hopkins, and nobody has more tricks up his sleeve than B-Hop. I look at that fight as an educational process for Kovalev. How much do you think he learned in that fight that'll help him on Saturday night?
No, I agree. I think that's one of the really big spots. Having to learn to have dealt with a tricky fighter like Hopkins, and the combination of being with John David Jackson, primarily a counter-punching defensive guy, balances out Kovalev, because instinctively he's an aggressive beast. And if he on the flip side just stays composed like he did against Hopkins, Ward could actually be the guy who ends up frustrated.
Yeah, well, it's interesting.
Ward seemed. I was talking about the confidence level yesterday, and Ward seemed like very confident, but not in a good way. When I do the comparison, and I see the confidence that I saw on Evander Holyfield's face when he upset Mike Tyson walking down the aisle. I was like, man, and I had that feeling as soon as I saw that look on Holyfield's face that Tyson was in trouble that night. This was before the bell rang. But when I look at the confidence on Ward, I'm seeing an overconfidence that could be dangerous to him, like he's taking Kovalev lightly. Do you see that, Coach?
Yeah, how I see it, if he's a little bit too overconfident, which is very possible, you want your fighter to be confident, but realistic. If he's overconfident, we might have a Fonfara fight here.
Yeah, no, good point. And I think the trainers, I'm glad you mentioned David Jackson. I think he's a better trainer than Virgil. I think Virgil is overrated 100%. I don't see anything special with him. I think that he's got a special fighter in Andre Ward, but show me anybody else he's done anything with.
As much as I agree with that, I think Virgil Hill and Ward are just, a fighter trainer where the two guys actually just hit it off.
Right.
But the thing I just never understood in boxing as a whole is why when trainers say in that scenario, don't bring in somebody else to help a fighter's weaknesses that maybe you haven't been able to get to a little bit, or just to add something new. The fact that some trainers are just so locked down, afraid to let anybody else get their hands on their fighter, is like so contrary to other sports where they have specialty coaches. Go to this coach for your footwork. Go to this guy for this guy for that. I think, especially in the amateurs, fighters would develop that much better.
Ego.
Coach, you said that 100%.
Yeah. Ego and a cut of the pay, maybe.
That's what it is. It's ego, man. It's ego. And you're right, Coach. Certain trainers, I always use my friend Kevin Rooney as an example. He and Tyson, great together. Who else? He worked with Vinny Paz, didn't help him much. Worked with some other fighters, didn't help them much. And you're right. Virgil and Andre, great match. But, outside of that, I don't know. But John David Jackson, on the other hand, has some proven fighters. And he changes. He knows how to train different styles to be, the strengths of the fighter he can bring out.
The funny part about that is the connection. Who I believe found that connection was Kathy Duva, because it's not by accident that Curtis Stevens also ended up with John David Jackson, and Stevens, like Kovalev, was primarily an aggressive fighter who needed to work on his defense.
Well, he had Andre Rozier, who's one of the worst trainers out there. He's terrible. But anyway, Coach, we got some other callers trying to get in. I hope to see you soon up here, my man.
All right, checking out the Adirondack schedule pretty soon.
Sounds good, brother. Talk to you Saturday.
Right. Take care, Coach.
That's Coach. You can check him in the chat room and everything else. I apologize. We had a lot of people trying to call in. We are going to take one caller at a time. So if you tried before and didn't get through, the phone line is open, 845-228-8710. And don't forget, we will be doing a post-fight show here after the fight where the phone lines will be open. So you can call and give us your thoughts after the fight. So we're trying to get final thoughts on Kovalev against Ward, scheduled for Saturday night, pay-per-view coming at us from Vegas. Big fight. Interesting comments from our callers so far. Hey, just to jump out of Kovalev Ward here for a second, Sal. Have you followed any of the trash talk that's been going on with Carl Froch and Triple G? And
no, I have not. But now that you bring it up, I would like to start listening to some of that. No, I heard something, but I didn't hear. Like, I heard there was trash talk, but I didn't hear any of the real comments. What's going on?
Well, Froch keeps saying that Triple G just better stay right where he is and don't try to move up to 168. And traditionally, Triple G never really bites on this stuff. But I think Froch is finally getting under his skin because he says, hey, stop your trash talk. Don't make it sound like we're negotiating, because we're not. If you want to negotiate, call my people. I don't have a problem fighting you. It seems like Carl Froch just wants to get one more payday. As much as I was a big fan of Carl Froch, I don't see him doing much against Triple G. Triple G has just become a fighter on a different level. So, I just think it's the way fighters today try to solidify or get a fight. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. But in any event, we have the phone line open 845-228-8710. If you have any final thoughts on Kovalev Ward, give us a shout. And right now we got Dax Khan on the line. Dax, what's your final thoughts on Ward Kovalev?
I think that it's a lot of people already said pretty much exactly how, what we should expect. I look for Andre Ward to start surprisingly fast. As you stated before, Kovalev has looked vulnerable in opening rounds in past fights. I believe the first Darnell Boone fight and in the Cedric Agnew fight, he went down from a body shot. He wasn't hurt. He was more or less surprised. Kovalev is not a dirty fighter. I can see him being frustrated, much like Chad Dawson was. Ward knows how to smother fighters. Kovalev really isn't an inside fighter. If Ward was able to deal with and frustrate a guy like Saki Albika, who can throw anyone off their game with his awkward style, I think he would be able to do that with Kovalev. Yes, Kovalev has shown us he's more than just a puncher. Certainly is. And he showed us his patience when dealing with Hopkins, where at times he was able, it was apparent anyway, he was able to get Hopkins out of there, but he chose to sit back, not let himself be brought into any traps, not let himself be frustrated. So if Kovalev is able to make Andre Ward double guess himself, make Andre Ward say to himself, you know what, I can't do to this guy what I've done in the past to other fighters, and I know what type of power he has, so I need to stand on the outside and try to box him. If he does that, I believe that is the biggest mistake that Andre Ward could make. For Andre Ward's success, he's going to have to stay inside and smother Sergey Kovalev, and the referee is going to play a pivotal role in this. If the referee allows it to happen, the points are going to be built up on the scorecards against Sergey to the point where after the sixth round, if Kovalev has won 5 of the 6 dominantly, he'll need a knockout to get the win. So the deck is a little bit stacked against Sergey, in my opinion.
What's your official prediction?
My official prediction on this one is I'm going to say Kovalev. So far, he has surprised us every single time out, so it's hard to go against the guy that, has shown to be more resilient than anybody has given him credit for thus far, and he hasn't had an easy road, and more often than that, he always has that one-punch equalizer. Like Mike Tyson says, everybody has a plan till you get punched in the mouth. Sergey Kovalev kind of has that punch that, you know what, you don't have to really get punched. You just have to get tapped, and all of a sudden your plan goes out the window.
One last thing. We got a bunch of people trying to call in. Do you think? I mean, I know this is kind of a stupid question because it's an obvious answer, but this fight means so much to Kovalev in terms of notoriety. A win over Andre Ward is huge for him, his value, his future, etc., etc. Is that adding extra pressure on Kovalev, or do you think he's using that as ammunition?
I think he thrives on it. I think he likes that. Sergey Kovalev is a guy who hasn't had anything come easy in this sport. Anybody who knows the whole backstory on exactly, how he came over, exactly how he got that contract with Main Event, what he had to overcome, how he was looked upon as the guy that was nothing more than a raw slugger. People don't realize his quality as an amateur fighter, and he wants the bigger challenges. Andre Ward is a guy who, as you state, is a diva. He's kind of happy with just having his name mentioned all the time. He'll take this title, and what he'll do is he'll keep it in limbo. He's certainly not going to sit there and risk going after any of the other dangerous guys who are looking to close in on either one of these two fellas here. So Sergey Kovalev is more worried about not only the win, but he wants the legacy. Andre Ward knows he already has his place set in history, so this is more or less Andre Ward's ego the win will feed. For Sergey Kovalev, it's about making history, not only for himself, but his family. If you see and know the relationship that he has with his family, you know that he fights for just more than just himself, considering his mother still lives basically in a one-bedroom apartment back in Russia, so he definitely wants to make a better life for everybody, not just himself.
Good points. Dax, I appreciate it. We'll definitely be looking forward to you Saturday night, brother.
All right, definitely. As far as New York, look for more fights early in New York. I already know that there's going to be one in March. There's going to be a world title fight.
All right, sounds good. I'm just curious about the insurance on that. What they did to combat that. If obviously somebody.
I think that they're going to accommodate because I'll talk to you later. I already know 2 fighters that have world title fights coming up early in the year. And MMA, believe it or not, is the thorn in the side that's making New York say, you know what, we got to change this because a couple people are jumping ship purposely just to say to New York State, you know what, we don't need you, you need us.
Yeah, well, New York State should either ban it or what. But, hey, listen, we got some other callers coming in. I'll talk to you later, my man.
Absolutely. Have a good day, everyone.
That's Dax Khan. You can check out his column up on BillyCBoxing.com. Again, I apologize for all you guys that are trying to call in. We are only taking one caller at a time. The line is open now. So give us a call, 845-228-8710. We're especially interested in hearing from some Fight TV people or YouTube people or any of you peoples. Give us a call. And I know several of you have tried, and all I could say is try again. 845-228-8710. When I look at the light heavyweight division, Sal, the winner of this fight, Dax mentioned, Andre Ward not doing anything with it and holding on if he should come out on top. Kovalev does have several of the belts, which, in my opinion, he's, the champion. He holds the WBO, IBF, and WBA titles. But when I look at the light heavyweight division, I could see a big matchup down the road with the winner of this fight possibly against Artur Beterbiev or even a Nathan Cleverly over in England. If Chicken Stevenson ever decides to fight, I could see a big fight in Canada with the winner. And then there's always the young Joe Smith who's taking on B-Hop in a few weeks. Should he get by B-Hop, he's going to be another name that's going to be in the mix. But aside from that, those are the top names in this division.
Yeah, it's shaping up a little bit. Yes, I agree. I agree with them.
Well, the one name that is kind of out of the mix, who is a decent fighter, is Bibat Shumanov. And it was announced the other day that Bibat Shumanov and Junior Dorticos, there was a purse bid held at the WBA headquarters. Shumanov has the WBA World Cruiserweight title, and apparently Caribbean Promotions won that purse bid. So it's looking like the fight between Bibat Shumanov and Junior Dorticos will be taking place either in February in possible locations of Houston or Vegas, or later in the month in Miami, Florida. So we'll keep everybody posted on that. That seems like a decent fight. Shumanov is a guy that moved up from light heavyweight to cruiserweight, and I love Dorticos. I think he's a guy to keep an eye on.
Okay, sounds good.
What's your thoughts on Dorticos? No, I'm only kidding. But anyway, 845-228-8710. We got all these people calling in. Now's your chance, and they're all going to call in at once again. You know that is going to happen. But interesting comments about the fight, and I guess the most common is Andre Ward's clinching ability. Do you think it's going to play a major part? Do you think Kovalev knows it and is ready to try to prevent it from happening? I mean, what's your thoughts on that?
I think, Kovalev, being a seasoned pro, he's been down this road, and he's been inside. He's been with different scenarios. And, yeah, I think he's working right now with, inside fighting, maneuvering, and being in position to jockey for position. And if they do break apart, to maybe get some affirmative shots in. And I think he's going to try to establish his dominance and his strength if they are inside, and if the referee allows them to work a little bit inside. And I definitely see Kovalev coming out of that clinch or out of that inside with the upper hand, no pun intended.
Dax Khan just made a comment in the chat room that the fight between Chilimba and Oleksandr Gadzdak, I know I'm not pronouncing his last name right, but everybody that watches the show knows I can't even pronounce my own name. the winner of that fight would be a good opponent for the winner of Ward Kovalev. And, my only comment on that is the names that I mentioned, Beater Beeve and Joe Smith Jr., should he get by B-Hop, and Cleverly and Adonis Chicken Stevenson. Those names are bigger names. And Chickenson has the Canadian connection. Beater Beeve is got a big following. A lot of people like him. Joe Smith is out of New York. He's gaining some recognition. I just think that it's better for the sport, one of those names, not taking anything away from Alexander, but I don't know. It depends. It all depends on the performance. If he really blows away Chilimba, maybe. If Chilimba wins, he has a tendency to look good sometimes and not so good others.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think that this fight this weekend, Ward against Kovalev, will prove a lot for both fighters, for Kovalev and Ward. Kovalev has a chance to really separate himself from the rest of the fighters in the division and to get on that world stage, even though many people that are in the know, that are big-time boxing fans, already have him on the big stage, but he's just not a known name for the casual fan. And I think a victory over Andre Ward will help him do that. And on the other hand, a Ward victory over Kovalev will get him right back in the mix, and he'll be catapulted by many to the top of the pound-for-pound list. So it's an important fight. It's one of these fights that have that mean a lot in many different aspects. I just wish that more people knew about it. I talk about this fight all week, and I look at people that are just general sports fans, and they look at me like, huh, who? They don't even know either one of them.
No, I know. It's a shame because there's certainly, with their undefeated records and their history, they've been around for a couple of years now. You'd think that they would be more of a known entity, but I believe that after this fight and through some promotion and marketing, that Victor will be a known entity. And we were talking earlier, I think Kovalev, with this kind of pressure on things, I think, like Dax was saying, he thrives on this kind of stuff, and I think this will be a driver for him, and this will be an incentive for him to reach up and pull out the greatness that he possesses. And I'm not taking away from Andre Ward. I think it's expected from him, and I think he also feels it'll be there for him to pull upon. So we'll see. But I definitely think this is going to be something that Kovalev does thrive on, and he's going to rise to the occasion.
Final chance for everyone that all called in at once. If you want to give us a shout, 845-228-8710. If you call, great. If not, me and Sal get to go home early. But 845-228-8710. 845-228-8710. You know what? Kovalev very well could be waiting to give us his best performance ever. And I think that if he could muster up a great performance, an action-packed fight, and totally dominate Ward, I think it just catapults him to stardom. And on the other hand, if Ward can win in an exciting fashion, something that he has the ability, Andre Ward has the ability to be an exciting fighter. He really does. And if he can muster that up and perform like that, then it looks good. But we got another caller on the line. What's your name and where you calling from?
Cliff from Canada.
Cliff from Canada. What's up, my man? So what do you think? What's your final thoughts?
Good morning. It's cold here in Saskatchewan.
Is it cold? You have a time difference, don't you? What time is it there?
7.
Oh, okay. So it's a 2-hour difference. Okay. Yeah, I bet it's cold. So, final thoughts on Kovalev Ward. What do you think, man?
Well, I'm not going to give too much into the technical stuff. You guys have already covered that. What I think is going to happen is round 1, like all Eastern European fighters, that's their feeling out process. Round 2 is going to happen. Ward's going to feel Kovalev's power. Round 3, you're going to hear a shot from the world from Andre Ward, but in the form of an uppercut to the plums of Kovalev. and then Kovalev's going to get pissed. And this is the part where I think is going to happen where I haven't heard anybody talk about this much. He's going to fall over and grab his knee.
Who, Ward? you think?
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
you think Ward is going to use the knee as a way out?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You look at Andre Ward, and that guy doesn't have enough class to say, hey, he was the better man that night. He doesn't have that class. He's not that guy. He's like Floyd. He's not going to go out there and get knocked out. He's already whined, too, about not wanting to have this fight. Like, why do I have to fight this guy? Because Rock Nation broke you off millions of dollars. Now they need some money back or they go under.
Huh. Well, you know something? I agree with you. I do think the knee is going to play a part in this fight because I think that Ward is going to try to use movement to stay away from Kovalev and try to frustrate Kovalev. And in the later rounds, if the knee isn't 100%, it is going to fail Kovalev. And I mean Ward, and I think it's going to be to Kovalev's advantage. You make an interesting point. And the point about him grabbing his knee, depending upon how he does it and how the referee rules it, he could lose by TKO with his knee not being able to continue. If they get pushed down or something like that and it's an injury, who knows? Or if they wait till, like you said, if he waits till after the fourth round, maybe they go to the scorecard. I don't know. Interesting stuff, man. You're throwing a wrench in there, my man.
All right. Or falls. Okay.
Yeah, who knows what's going to happen? It just reminds me of that time where I think Michael Johnson for the U.S. was racing Canada's Donovan Bailey in Skydome in that 150-meter race like 15 years ago, and Johnson pulled up lame, said he pulled his hamstring.
Yeah.
Donovan after said, he's chicken. He didn't want to finish the race because he was losing.
I remember that. I remember that. Hey, man, I appreciate the call. We're going to try and take a couple of more callers. You stay warm up there, brother.
Okay, thanks. Have a good one.
All right, my man.
Take care.
Bye.
Saskatchewan, Canada. All right. That's some good stuff. But we had a couple other people trying to call. We're trying to hang in there for you. Give us a call back, 845-228-8710. 845-228-8710. Interesting comment from my man from up there in the cold part of the world, talking about Andre Ward's knee, Sal. But we got another caller on the line right now. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, hi, it's Destro from New York. How are you?
What's up, my man? How you doing?
Good. Calling in. Excited about this fight. So I have to call in.
What's your thoughts, man? How do you see it going?
So, I mean, I'm thinking. Well, I mean, first of all, it's a 50-50 fight. So anyone who says, "Oh, I told you so," I mean, it's a 50-50 fight. It's not like anybody's picking an upset and then they'll be excited that they picked the upset. It's a 50-50 fight. I'm going for Ward. I think. I think one of the things people forget about Ward is, I used to judge amateur fights. I judged like 2,000 amateur fights. You can't go through the amateurs, right? The guy hasn't lost since he was 12. Through the amateurs, through the Olympics, won gold. Went through the Super Six. The guy, I think people are forgetting like how talented he is. Kovalev, he has a lot of power, right? That's a given. He killed the guy in the ring. So he definitely has that power. But I feel, as I'm watching Kovalev's interviews, I feel like he has, and he seems that he has that tough guy aura to him. But I feel like that could backfire. And I feel like Ward, maybe it's good for him, to his credit, but I feel like Kovalev is like one mind game away from being thrown out of this fight. I feel like if Ward would have pulled like just one Bernard Hopkins, do one thing, maybe drop the Russian flag like Hopkins did when he fought Tito Trinidad. Like he dropped the Puerto Rican flag. I feel like if Ward would pull out one, at this level he shouldn't have to, right? But I feel like Kovalev's mentality may backfire, and he may just go into like destroy mode and just try to destroy Ward, and Ward may just pitch a shutout. I'm not saying it's going to be exciting, but I mean it depends. Like when Ward fought Chad Dawson, I was thinking, well, oh man, this is, but it turned out to be an exciting fight, and Ward was really dominant, won by stoppage. I don't know, but but I think Ward. I think Ward will win.
Well,
and one thing I hope, yeah.
No, I was going to say, the Ward, and you make some great points about, his pedigree and stuff, but that's my argument for Kovalev. I agree with everything you said with Ward's talent. I've never disputed that. His pedigree, have never disputed that. When he fought and won the Super 6, this was a guy that fought, the best of the best in the super middleweight division. There's no question about it, and came out on top in every single one. But that was 5 years ago, and the amateur career and the Olympics and all of that was a decade ago. And you can't just assume. At least this is the way I'm looking at it. You can't just assume that everything is still intact, that we have the same exact Andre Ward fighting on Saturday night. And I think that maybe mentally he feels confident that everything is there. But until he gets in the ring with Kovalev, and I agree with you. I think that I thought in a way you were saying, Ward is much more polished than Kovalev, and maybe he could get him riled up and get him out of his game. But I think deep down, Kovalev has more drive. There's more to gain in winning this fight for Kovalev than there is for Ward. Ward's already, I don't necessarily agree that he's, got his place cemented in history and all of that stuff, but I do believe that Kovalev might have more drive in this fight. So the mental part of it, I think you might be underestimating Kovalev, but I totally appreciate your thoughts. And your official prediction is what?
Ward by
decision.
By decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that the Ward's ring IQ is just going to be too much. Kovalev, he has been, these are rumors, to get beat up in the gym by a couple guys. But this is years ago. But he doesn't know my point is that he knows what it feels like to get beat up. So he may have learned how to fight by taking ass whoopings. Who knows? But that's years ago. Now he's a world-class, great boxer. But one thing, I really hope that, boxing fans don't screen this fight. Just don't be a cheapo. Boxing, I feel like this is a fight where people should be spending the moolah on, invest in the fight, and so that others will continue to make fights like this. People may say, look at it, and say, well, Ward and Kovalev, they put everything on the line. Nobody pays for it. Why should I put everything on the line when nobody's going to buy it? So this is a fight I think people should buy.
Good point, and I hope you're right about that. I hope they do very well with the numbers. And hey, before we let you go, how are you listening to the show? I'm just curious.
Oh, well, right now I'm on the phone, but I listen on YouTube.
Oh, okay, YouTube.
I listen on YouTube.
Sounds good, my man. Well, make sure you watch the fight and tune into our post-fight show.
Sure thing. All right, thanks.
All right, brother.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Good night.
Yeah. So another interesting caller, Sal, and. Maybe we can, if somebody can call quickly, we'll take one more caller. 845-228-8710. 845-228-8710. YouTube viewers calling in. YouTube has become a decent platform for us, and I appreciate being part of the YouTube boxing community.
Absolutely.
And I think I'm going to take it to the next level for 2017 on YouTube. So for all you YouTubers out there, look for our show to really become bigger and better on the YouTube platform. And we're also very happy to be part of the Fight TV platform. And as we help build that, we're looking for bigger and better things. We got time for maybe one more caller if you call in right away. 845-228-8710. We want to hear what your final thoughts on Kovalev Ward for Saturday night. And I also agree with the last caller. Buy the pay-per-view. Don't try to get it for nothing, and it might help. It might be an investment for you. I got some. Let's get people caught up on some other scores. Sal, I got some NBA and hockey scores from last night. In the NBA, the 76ers beat the Wizards 109-102. Jahlil Okafor had 19 points, 5 rebounds, and a couple of assists. The Magic beat the Pelicans 89-82. Serge Ibaka, 16 points, 8 rebounds, and an assist. The Pacers topped the Cavaliers 103-93. Paul George led the way for the Indiana Pacers, 21 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 assists. The Boston Celtics beat the Mavericks 90-83. And every time I see this name, I think I'm going back in time, but Isaiah Thomas leads the Celtics, 30 points, 4 rebounds, and 6 assists. The Knickerbockers topped the Pistons 105-102. Kristaps Porzingis has 35 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists. The Hawks topped the Bucks 107-100. Paul Millsap, 21 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. Thunder over the Rockets 105-103. Victor Oladipo, 29 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists. The Warriors topped the Raptors in a high-scoring game, 127-121. Steph Curry, of course, led the way for the Warriors, 35 points, 3 rebounds, 7 assists. The Nuggets topped the Suns, 120-104. Wilson Chandler, 28 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists. The Grizzlies over the Clips, 111-107. Mike Conley, 30 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists. And in a late game, the San Antonio Spurs topped the Kings, 110-105. Paul Gasso, 24 points, 9 rebounds, and a couple assists. Over in the hockey, 2 games. The Capitals 7, Penguins 1. And your Flames, Sal, your Flames, they came out on top, Sal. 2-1 over the Coyotes in overtime. And that catches you up on some NBA and NHL scores for last night. Now, tonight, we got Thursday night football. We got the Carolina Panthers going up against the New Orleans Saints in what could be a pivotal game for both teams as they're battling to hang on in the discussion for playoff contention. So make sure you tune in to that. There also is a couple of college football games, and of course NBA has a full slate. So a lot of sports going on. But Sal, as we wrap it up, I know we've been giving our final thoughts all day here on the Andre Ward versus Sergey Kovalev fight, which is Saturday night. We are doing a post-fight show here, so anybody watching or listening, make sure you tune in as soon as the fight is over right here on BillyCBoxing.com or on our YouTube page, youtube.com/TalkinBoxing, TalkinBoxing, or, of course, Fight TV. And don't forget, you can download the Fight TV app to your phone so you can watch the show very easily. Just go to FITE.tv/Billy C and download it for free right now. But Sal, any change in your opinion? You've predicted that Kovalev is going to win this fight. We broke it down today. We heard different opinions from a bunch of callers. Has anything changed? What is your official prediction as we close up the show today, and we'll be back for the post fight? How's it going to happen, man? What's going to go on with that fight?
Well, like I initially said, I do see Kovalev coming out the end of the fight with his hand raised as a victor. I do see, just like we all said, I mean, there's a lot of people that said a lot of the same things as to how they see this fight going. And, you know, that's the beautiful thing of a fight. Any given night, we don't know what's going to walk into the ring with a fighter. You know, what his emotional state's going to be, what it's going to be the pressure, everything else. But I see it as sterile as it is right now, without any outside influence or anything else affecting the fight. I see Kovalev winning this fight. And whether it's going to be Andre Ward having trouble with his leg, or whether it's going to be him not being able to move laterally fast enough, I see it going to be some good middle rounds. And I see that Kovalev is going to be dominant when he establishes his strength and power. And Andre Ward is going to have to stay away from that. And that's what's going to give him trouble, because Kovalev's going to be able to catch him. And I see this fight either going on Kovalev's side as far as winning a unanimous decision, or I see him stopping and the fight ending in a TKO in the later rounds.
I am sticking to my guns as well. Andre Ward will win the fight if it goes to the scorecards. I don't think it's going to happen. I think Kovalev will be bringing 2 judges with him, his left and his right, and I think this fight will stop either by TKO or knockout. I do think that Andre Ward's legs are going to play a major factor in this fight, and I also think Dax made a good point. I think it was Dax when he said, or maybe Coach, let's test the shoulder of Andre Ward. He has had some shoulder problems, and I would think that a la Rocky Marciano style, maybe Kovalev is just getting ready to throw and land punches anywhere, on the arms, on the shoulders, wherever. It's going to boil down to conditioning for Kovalev. He's got to throw lots of punches. He's got to be smart. He's got to be a ring general in there. He's got to be a ring general. I've said this all along. The fight is going to boil down to the ability of Kovalev's ring generalship. If he cannot control that ring, he will not win this fight. My official prediction, Kovalev by stoppage in the later rounds. And I'm looking forward to this fight, as I know you are, Sal, and it seems like a lot of the fans are looking forward to it as well. So just remember, as soon as the fight is over and you want to express your feelings, good or bad, about the fight and the rest of the card, make sure you tune it in right here to the Billy C. Kovalev Ward post-fight show, which will be live approximately 6 minutes at the conclusion of the fight. So I'll be looking forward to that, Sal. And we will, if you missed the post-fight show, we'll be doing full coverage on Monday on that fight and other important fights that take place over the weekend and any other boxing news. But we will be skipping tomorrow, and we will be back Saturday night. So make sure you get your popcorn and your beers and your scotches or whatever, and get ready for a big fight on on Saturday. And before I go, I'll leave you with this. Make sure you tune in Saturday night, right after the fight, right here on BillyCBoxing.com or our YouTube channel, youtube.com/TalkinBoxing, TalkinBoxing, or on Fight TV. That's FITE.tv. Don't forget, download the app for your handheld, fight.tv/BillyC. Until then, ciao, baby.